Greetings everybody. Today we are going to go and begin our interaction with Excel. So we are going to familiarize ourselves with the working of our software with respect to Excel. What I have with me is a small scenario, a use case where what we want to do is we want to pick up information from this text document and we want to write that information inside this Excel sheet. This is the objective at hand. Read information from a text document, write it into an Excel sheet. So this particular demonstration will, cover two facets. First of all, it will help us understand how we can read from a text or a CSV file, and secondly, how we can go and write inside an Excel. So, two important aspects that we will be dealing with in this demonstration. So, without further delay, let me just go in and bring us all on board with respect to the capabilities of a software to work with Excel. So I'm going to go inside our task editor, and here we are. I'm just going and opening our task editor over here, as you can see me doing that. And there we are inside our good old task editor once again. So since the demonstration is basically twofold, A, reading from a text document, and parallelly B, writing into an Excel sheet, let me start by first trying to read information from the text file, because it is only after I can read from this text file can I go and write into an Excel. So I'm just going and pointing to the text document. So I've just dragged the read from CSV/text to the right hand side. I've chosen the file type as text, which is something all of us should be doing. Pointing to the right file format is very crucial. I click on the ellipses and I pick up my text document, the one that we just had a quick peek earlier. And our document contains the delimiter as comma. As you can see, it is separating my columns over here. So delimiter as comma. If you have any leading or trailing spaces within your text document that you want to chop off while reading the information from it, you can check mark the leading and trailing spaces, check boxes also, and then we can go and save it. So far so good. Next, what we would like to do is, as you can see, the couple of selections that I just did in this read from CSV/text dialog has resulted in these 4 lines of code on my screen. So we're reading from this, we're iterating over it, and here you can see we have a comment section. Comments helpful because they help us understand that which variable will be useful in a particular context. Here it is telling me that the file data column variable is going to be useful, allowing us to read information from the text file in perspective. So file data column 1 would be how we would refer to the first column, and file data column 2 would be how we would be referring to the second column. File data column, as you can see, has been given in the hint. So first column is file data column 1, second column is file data column 2. So let me just go and put a message box over here, and I am going to press F2, which brings in my insert variable dialog. I press F, so our variables are also alphabetically arranged. So F takes me to the variable starting with F, which is file data column, and I'm going to say for the first column file data column 1, and for the second column file data column 2. So that's us picking up these 2 columns. We save it from the top, give it a name. We will say something like read from text to Excel. So we're reading from a text document, writing into an Excel sheet, and I'm going to go and save it. And let me go and quickly run this. It's an intermediate step, but let's at least check, that are we able to successfully pick up values from the text file and bump the values off the screen. Of course, later on we will be writing the values in the Excel, but wherever possible, if we can have an intermediate output, just to ascertain that we are on the right roadmap, no harm in doing that. So you can see I'll deliberately open this text file in the background so that we can cross check. You can see the first row, second row, third row. So we are on the right track. We have been able to pick up all these values. and bump them on off the screen at the moment. So far, so good. Now that the purpose of this message box has been delivered, I will proceed to disable it by doing a right click and doing a disable. That disables this message box. And now we will go and try to incorporate the Excel functionality, as in I want this information to be written into the Excel sheet in perspective. So for that, I'm going to go inside Excel, and I have a command called open spreadsheet, which I will drag and make it the first line over here. So Excel open spreadsheet is a command which allows me to go and interface with an Excel document. Excel open spreadsheet, I drag it and I'm trying to keep it before this read statement. So spreadsheet paths, I'm going and pointing to my spreadsheet which I have earmarked for this activity. And within a spreadsheet, you may have multiple sheets. In case you want to work on a particular sheet, you can give the sheet name also over here. By default, it works with sheet 1. In advanced view, in case your sheet was password protected, then you would appropriately need to specify the password. And if you want to open in read-only mode, you can specify that too. At the moment, we need to write into it. So if our spreadsheet was password protected and had a password for modification, I would have had to check mark this and give that password. And obviously the one to open also. At the moment, that is not a requirement because this is not a password protected sheet. So I'm going to go and save this line over here. So open spreadsheet line comes in. So far, so good. Now we wish to ascertain that our, usually when you're working with your official Excel formats, they have a predefined format. You start writing from a particular location, a particular position. You don't, have your spreadsheet today starting from column A, tomorrow the same spreadsheet starting from column B. There's a consistency. So let's say I want my data to be inserted from this column A and from this row 1. So I want to ascertain that my insertion within this sheet begins from cell A1. So I can drag a go to cell command. So I say go to cell, and in which cell do you wish to go to? I'm going to say A1. So go to cell command allows me to go to a particular cell and mark that as the active cell for subsequent operations. So that's my go to cell command, as you can see. So this command will make this particular cell active over here. So far, so good. Now what we want to do is we want to pick up this information as in this column header name and write it over here in A1. And then following that, A should be picked up and written in column in cell B1. So how can I pick up the first column? I know I can do that using file data column 1. And for the second column, I can pick it up using file data column 2. We just did that inside the loop. So the question now comes is that if I have a value, how do I write that value inside an Excel cell? And the solution to that lies in the set cell command. So the set cell command allows me to assign a value to an Excel cell. So I'm dragging a set cell. I go inside cell value where I have to specify the value which has to be inserted. I press the F2 function key on my keyboard and I press F. Our variables, as you can also see, are also alphabetically arranged. So I press F, takes me to the first variable starting with F, which is file data column. And column value I'm giving as 1. So that's my first column going in over there, and I go and save it. First column written in. So far, so good. So once this has been executed, we will see name getting written over here. So that's the first row. In case you were just coming in from the top first time, the first row, first column written in. Now we want to go and write this second value age in the adjacent column. But before that, I have to even take into consideration that currently A1 is my active cell. So I need to, tell the Excel that, look, I want the insertion to happen in cell B1. If I directly go and write over here, it will go and overwrite on this location. So first I have to change the active location from this column to this column. So to do that, I will again use my go to cell command, because go to cell command, as we know, allows us to navigate, allows us to make a particular cell active. So I'm going to say go to cell, one cell to the right. If you notice this time, I did not give any hard-coded cell references, because if I give any hard-coded cell references, I'll keep going to the same cell again and again. Hence, within the loop, I have to use relative referencing so that I can keep moving accordingly. So I say one cell to the right, that positions me one cell to the right over here. And now that I'm positioned on this cell, I can assign the value of the second column of my text file into this location. And to do that, the command is again set cell. So I'm going to drag set cell, which is the value that you want to insert in. This time it is file data column, column number, to second column going in this time. So first column in, and then the second column is also in. So once this command also executes, I would have age written over here, which is precisely what we want. So the first row has been inserted. Now we want to go and reposition over here so that the next row of data, as in this A, B, C, D or something, should start getting written over here. How do we do that? How do I make it go from here to here? Or maybe if I had some more columns, let's say I have date of birth also, date of joining also. How do I make it go from here to here? I will use two instances of the go to cell command, because go to cell command, as we know, is the one which allows us to navigate from one location to another. Go to cell one cell below and go to cell beginning of the row will reposition me from any location to the beginning column name. As in our case, it's only two columns. So go to cell one cell below takes me here. Go to cell beginning of the row takes me over here, and job is done. Let's do that. So I'm going to say go to cell, and I'm going to say one cell below. It will take me one cell below. So this effect of this command will be that it will jump from here to here, and then again go to cell beginning of the row, so that we are repositioned right under the name column. So go to cell beginning of the row will make us jump from here to here. And now we are good for the next row of data to be inserted. That about does the job of this data translation operation. I'm going to close the spreadsheet and I will not save it. And once this entire job is done, it's a good practice to close, your open documents, your open connections, whatever, if you have a command inside of a software which opens and closes the surface, kindly exercise both the options. Otherwise, you may have, unnecessary overhead connections lying open or documents getting locked down inside of a software. So it's always a good practice to close what we, open. Now, in case you look at the case of this read from text file, so there is no close statement over here because it automatically closes. So here you don't have to bother about that. But here in Excel, you have a open and close both options. Kindly exercise both of them. Further, I would like to mention that the sequence of commands over here is also very important. You have to first open the spreadsheet before you can start doing anything inside it. So I first open the spreadsheet and then only I can go to a particular cell or do anything else inside it for whatever reasons I need to, perform the action on the spreadsheet. So kindly keep that in mind. First command open spreadsheet, then only you start working with the spreadsheet. More importantly, both these commands, open spreadsheets and go to cell, should be before this loop, because if they are inside this loop, in case of the open spreadsheet command, it will keep opening again and again, which is something you do not want. And also, if you have this go to cell A1 command inside this, between this start and end loop statement, it will keep going to the cell A1 again and again. So these are a couple of things you want to avoid. So once we have gone and done all this stuff, we can go and save this. And let's go and take our script for a quick spin. And the results should be there for us to watch on our screens. And it has gone and done it. Another thing that you may have noticed is I have not put the save spreadsheet command. We have a save spreadsheet command also. By default, close automatically saves it also. So it automatically saved it for me. And the job has been done. I can go over here. I can verify that. I open this spreadsheet and I can see the job has been accomplished. We were successfully able to take the data from a text file right into an Excel. And this was our demonstration on hand. So I hope everybody is comfortable so far. Thank you so much. We'll connect again sometime in the future.